Welcome to the Real P&L Trading Show, where every week I show my real accounts. Each one is tied to a specific trading system, so you can see exactly how each strategy performs in real time. And I also share my proprietary safe wheel strategy for free here. You guys, let me know the audio is working okay and that the video's good. In the comment section, I would appreciate that. And also be sure to post any questions you might have earlier rather than later, because we're on just a slight delay. And sometimes I'll end the broadcast before I get to your questions or your comments. Okay, let's start here with the earnings edge account. What's going on with that? So last week, what did I trade? I traded Visa, and you can see Visa here. I've only traded it once this year. Lost $1,232. So this is the first loss I've had since Baidu. So you can see there, don't have very many losses, but that was one. So maybe this will help you show that, this is realistic and real, because, I take losses too sometimes with this trade plan. So that is that. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet and the P&L. And Will says the audio is good. I appreciate that. Thank you. 17,726. That's my net liquidation of my account. Let's bring this over here. 17,726. So it's down a little bit from last week. All right, let's take a look at the overall. So I traded Visa, lost 1232, got 15 wins. Now I have 2 losses. 88% win rate, average win 950, average loss 874. And you can see how it's done 2022, how I outperformed the market by 80%. And then 2023 underperformed by about 7%. 2024 underperformed by about 50. And this year so far outperforming by about 180%. Total since the beginning of 2022, I'm up 254%. The market, what is the market doing? SPY is trading 637.98. Wow, that thing is just going. Just keeps going up. Won't come back down there. Okay, so the market's up about 9% this year to date, halfway through the year, a little more than halfway through the year. And you can see that overall since 2022, the earnings edge is up 254% versus 34% for the market. In this year, I've almost tripled my account. I started with about $6,000, and I'm up to about almost 18,000. So I've tripled my account here in 2025 with the new Earnings Edge 3.0 system. By the way, I'm going to be doing a master class on Thursday. It's coming up this Thursday here in about 3 days at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and I'm going to go over 2 of the 3. There's 3 edges when trading the earnings edge. There's 3 of them, and I'm going to go over 2 of them for free. I'm going to show you what they are. And there's a link in the description there if you're interested. All right, let's go to the PL5 Pro. This system's designed to make money in all market environments, and so that's one of the keys, and designed to outperform the market. This year it's not outperforming, but let's take a look at where it is. So I can get into the correct account here. 275 527. I think this is it. Yeah, 411,899. 411,899. That's how much is in this account. So it's up pretty good from last week, but you can see down 12%, still underperforming the market this year. Last year outperformed the market 16% to 6.65 since inception of July 19th of 2024. This year so far down 12. The market's up about 9, so definitely underperforming this year. Made a tweak to the system because of the way the market crashed this year was a little different than what the back tests and the trade plan had been planned for, but now I fixed that trade plan. But obviously I still have these results. You can see that I'm still up since I started trading the system, but not up as much as the market. Okay, let's talk about the PL5, just the PL5, not the PL5 Pro. This is specifically designed to outperform the S&P. It'll draw down with the S&P. It'll have higher drawdowns. The PL5 Pro has much lower drawdowns, about half the drawdown. PL5 has about the same. You're gonna get the same volatility with this system. And let's see what's in the account. I can't tell you the whole thing. It'll show my account number. 33,229. Okay, and this one's underperforming a little bit this year, up about a 0.5%. The market is up again about 9%. And then in 2024, the PL5 outperformed 10% to about 4%. So overall, the PL5 is up 10.7 and the market's up 13.2. So it's pretty close to the market, but underperforming just a little bit. And we'll see how this goes as time continues on. It will outperform. I'm 99% sure eventually it's going to outperform the market. Okay, so that is the PL5. Let me see here. Now let's talk about the safe wheel. What's going on with that? Safe wheel, you get about half the drawdowns of the S&P 500. So it's based on that, it's a little safer to trade. The wheel itself is not safer than the S&P 500. You're going to see, most of the time, you're going to see higher drawdowns. So let's go here, and you can see I'm trading JD. I've got 55.72. Let's see. Or 55.61. 55.61 in the account. 55.61. So it's up a little bit, but not much. It's a slow moving trade. If you don't like a lot of volatility in the account, that's pretty good for you here. You can see in 2022 how the safe wheel do. It outperformed by about 40%. In 2023, underperformed by 20. In 2024, underperformed by about 37. And so far in 2025, it's underperforming by about 6%, maybe 7%. Overall totals since 2022, I've shown every trade in this account live, except for the ones where on Fridays I buy a $5 call. So I spend $5 every week on a hedge. But other than that, you've seen every single trade here live on YouTube. And since 2022, and since then, this safe wheel is up 11.2%. The market's up 34%. So even on a risk-adjusted basis, that'd be about 24. So it's still underperforming a little bit, the market, on a risk-adjusted basis. But if you like something that it will outperform the market in certain scenarios, certain types of markets, like when there's when the market's going down, basically. It could be a crash, could be a draw, any type of drawdown, it'll outperform. And so if you like that kind of aspect, also if you don't understand the wheel and you want to trade the wheel without all the risk of the wheel, this is a good way to go. Also, if you want to learn about options and just learn a lot about options, this is a great class or a great course. And also, this course is available for free right now, limited time. I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep it available for free, but if you hit the link in the description, you can get this course, the Safe Wheel course, for free. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and trade this. So what's going on with the account here? I'm trading JD. I don't own any shares, and I do have two hedges. I have a put hedge, and I've got a little $5 call to protect this hedge. But so I've got some questions about this hedge. There's 3 questions I need to answer, and if they're all no, I do nothing. So first question is, do I own 200 shares? The answer is no. Second is, this $25 put, is it within 70% of this 33.26? So I'm going to do a calculation here. 25 divided by 33.26. It's with 75%. So if it was under 70, it would not be close enough, and I would have to move it closer, but it is close enough to give me the protection that I'm looking for. And the next question is, so that's no. And then the next question is this days and the days left in the life of this option under 100 days, because then it would depreciate too quickly? The answer is no. So no across the board. Don't do anything with this hedge. Obviously, this is the $5 every week. I pay $5 for this call just in case there's some type of takeover bid on JD or something. I don't want my put hedge to lose 100% of its value, and that would be costly. So I spend $5 every week to protect this hedge. That's a hedge for the hedge. Okay, so my hedges are in place. I don't own any shares, so I'm not going to write a covered call. I'm going to sell a put, and I want to do it in the nearest expiration, the one that expires on Friday. So let's take a look at JD. Make sure JD is in here. Okay. So this is the expiration cycle that I want to live in. And I want to sell a put, and I want to sell it out of the money, and I want to get more than 33 cents for it. The 32.50 is going for around 27 cents. So it's not enough premium. So I'm going to sell the 33. So I'm going to sell one of these. The mid price is around 46. So possibly I'll get 46 for it, collect another $45 or so. Okay, that filled. So I just collected another 45 bucks. Now I may get assigned, I might not, but I collected 45 bucks, which should outpace any kind of losses that I get with my hedges, and also with the wheel strategy in general. It should come out ahead because I'm hedged. So I'm not going to be stuck holding the bag like you would with the traditional wheel strategy. All right, so let's see if there's any questions or comments. John says, were deltas ever used instead of price when backtesting? Which strike to use for the put hedge? No, it was always a percentage basis. Like you saw, I just did this particular strike is the $25 strike, and I use a percentage to get that. And I used 80% of whatever the price was at the time when I got into JD. I multiplied it times 80, and I picked my strike based on a percentage basis. Everything in this safe wheel is based on, all the decisions are based on percentage basis. Will, appreciate that you say my audio is good. Iraqi trader, if you are not in EE, you're wasting your time. Yeah. Good statement there, I guess. I think that it obviously you can see how well it's doing this year, the new 3.0, and I think that Iraqi trader's been with me for 2 years in the earnings edge, maybe 3. I don't know. He's been there for quite a while. He's actually kind of created his own style, and he talks about that in the community. Avery says, like button, hit the like button. Yes, if you like the fact that I show my real net liquidation every week. So sometimes people show, you ever notice other instructors show their net liquidation every once in a while? There's a few of them that have a good month or good 2 months or good 3 months, and then they'll show their P&L for that 2 or 3 month period. But they don't do it consistently over months or years. And if you appreciate that I do that, please hit that like button. I'd appreciate that. Will says my latest video was great. Yeah, that was, I think, a lot. I'm getting a lot of views on that video. Basically I took 26 financial YouTubers, and I asked them a couple of questions in their comment section of their YouTube videos. And I asked them if they believe that you should be profitable in order to teach other people how to be profitable, or not you, but just instructors in general. And then I asked them if instructors in general should share their equity curve, including money coming in and out of the account, so you could see everything with the account. And a couple of them answered and said, "Oh yeah, you should." And I think 2 or 3 of them said, "Yes, you absolutely. You know, I agree." And then I would ask them for their P&L. Of course, I never got it. And then a lot of them just hid my comments, or I couldn't find my comments in the when I went incognito, and I don't know what happened, but my comments weren't there. And then a lot of them just flat out just ignored me. So it's like when you ask these guys for the P&L, what happens? Well, that's what that video is about. Will or Carl, what do you think about giving us questions to ask other channels in your description? Oh, that's not a bad idea. So we could copy and paste it, unless it could be considered harassment. I don't think it's harassment. I think it's a very simple question that's very professional. And, that's a good idea. I like that idea. In fact, I could put that in my link of all my descriptions. And I'm going to make a note of that right now because I will forget. P&L, yeah, that's a great idea. And make it easy for people to copy and paste. I want everyone to ask all those questions. I don't want to be the only one asking those questions. A lot of people ask me to do a review on a trader, a specific trader, and I have a list of probably 250, I don't know what it is, 100 to 150. And, I can't get to all those. I haven't done a review for quite a while. I've reviewed videos recently, but I haven't reviewed courses. But, just ask that question. Just ask them. I'll put the link in the description there. Just ask the question in the chat and see what kind of result, see if they answer. If they find excuses not to show their P&L, are they really making money? I mean, if they were, wouldn't they show it? Just, I don't know. Like, I don't get why people don't get that. But I guess, just ask them. Rather than having me try to review someone, just ask them for their P&L on your own and see what they say. Because if they deny it, and if they give you excuses, they're probably not profitable, because if they were profitable, they would show it, right? So that just is a dead giveaway. Now, if you're okay with learning from someone who's not profitable and they're not profitable, but you want to learn from them, that's cool. I'm okay with that. As long as you know that they're not profitable and you're okay with learning from them, that's totally fine with me. I mean, I don't have any issues with that, obviously. But if you feel like you want to only learn from someone that's profitable, then you want to make sure that they are profitable. And the only way to do that is to see their P&L. You need to see their equity curve, because in the equity curve, I really like Schwab a lot, because you not only do you see the equity curve, but you see the money coming in and out of the account. So you can tell that there's no, like, for example, with my equity curve for my Earnings Edge, which I'll show you that in the masterclass coming up. You'll see in there not just my equity curve, but you'll see whether I added or taken money out of the account, right? That's key. So I'm not adding money to the account to make it look inflated, right? When I show you the net liquidation. So you got to see that too. So if you ask them for it and they don't give it to you, they're probably not profitable. And if you're okay learning from them still, that's okay. But if you're not, if you only want to learn from someone who's profitable, you need to have them prove that they are. That's my opinion. Will says, the sites like LendingTree, what do you think of one for investors where you can invest on traders? Hopefully my explanation makes sense. I'm assuming you would invest with someone else who has a track record. Is that what you mean by that? And yeah, that's cool. I mean, if you have confidence in somebody else and you give them your money, I have that same situation going on with Clovis Wealth Partners. I don't talk about it a lot because it's a $5 million minimum investment. So it's not, I don't think a lot of people have that. And I don't think a lot of people that have $5 million to invest are probably watching YouTube in terms of trading. But yeah. Will says, just be careful. They don't accuse you of sending people to do targeting harassment, but I agree with you. Oh yeah, don't harass. Thank you. Don't harass anyone when you do this. Just ask them very professionally the answers to those questions. And if they don't answer, or if they give you some excuse, don't get mean or nasty, or just be totally professional and above board. You don't have to get mean and nasty and crazy and dumb. Just be professional. There's no reason to not be that way. Will says, thanks. Enjoy your week. Hope you're getting some summer vacation time. Actually, yes. Next week, I'll still be here for the live stream, but next week I'm going to be hanging out a little bit away from the office, not too far. Shovel's about the 20th one to make a comment, but he says he's first. Will says their services, so you're talking about Lending Tree. They start getting ratings based on their track records. Each has a risk rating and expected return. That's interesting. Maybe I can put my services in there. I didn't know Lending Tree had that. I think Interactive Brokers has something like that, right? So if you're part of Interactive Brokers, they have like a little hedge fund section where you can look at some of the track records of some of these other hedge fund traders, and you can invest your money. I don't know how much you can invest into their system, but I think you can. I don't know how you can how you have to qualify. But for me to qualify to invest with me, you got to be worth 2.2 million. So obviously, if you're going to give me 5 million, you're going to be worth that. And that way, I can I don't have to worry about advertisement rules or anything like that, because I'm only going after qualified investors. Oh, you're saying they don't do that, but was asking if you thought of a site like that might be good. Yes. So, like I said, Interactive Brokers does something like that. I just don't know what the qualifications are to be able to invest with someone else. They might have some hoops that you got to jump through. Avery says, if an instructor implies their trading strategy never loses money by not showing their P&L, the good and bad, they don't understand their strategy, or implying it works in all environments. Yep. I've seen that, where you watch a financial YouTuber that trades and you get the impression that they're profitable, but they never really show or prove it. They just talk around it. So yeah, that's what happens a lot. All right, I don't see any other questions or comments coming in. So one thing I always like to say in parting, if the P&L is not real, what else are they trying to conceal? I'll be back next week on Monday, and I appreciate you guys.